Welcome to Bith Your Vision Podcast, where aspiring entrepreneurs are invited to join us on a journey of inspiration. I'm your host, Hannah Kukuli, and we are thrilled to embark on this empowering journey with you. We provide coaching sessions and engage in hot seats experiences, empowering individuals to gain clarity in bringing their business visions to life. As an additional layer of support, we extend personalized one-to-one roadmap sessions, ensuring each entrepreneur receives tailored guidance on their unique path to success, and also live interviews, tailored guidance from successful businesswomen and men to inspire aspiring entrepreneurs to birth their vision. So join us on this insightful conversations and hands-on support to turn your entrepreneurial journey and dreams to reality. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bith Your Vision Podcast. And I'm your host. And so today I am so excited to introduce to you an extraordinary guest who is a beacon of inspiration, especially for women and young people across the globe. And so today's guest, Maudlyn, she is truly amazing. She is an award-winning young leader for women and also for youth advocates. And she's also an international speaker. She is the founder of Gwen Network, and also she's so much dedicated to life in terms of empowering young people and also women, as well as helping them to rise into leadership roles. She's also advocating for their voices to be heard on global platform. She has been recognized for her leadership and activism, and also today we are going to be diving into the powerful vision behind her work. And so Maudlyn is dedicated to advocating for women's leadership, social advancement, and also empowering and inclusion of youth to contribute towards sustainable development and gender equality. And so she's also a master's degree owner in project management from University of Salford, Manchester, UK. And she's been awarded prestigious different types of award from Alumni Rising Star 2023 to so many. And so today it is an honor to welcome the one and only Maudlyn, the Queen herself. Thank you so much for gracing our show today. It's a pleasure to welcome you today.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be invited to this platform. I am very honored to be here, and thanks for the opportunity as well.
You are more than welcome. And so to all our guests, thank you so much for joining us. Please leave your questions if you have questions for me or for my guests today, and we'll be able to help you to answer those questions. And so do get your notepad and your pen, because you're going to be taking some notes. Yes, Maudlyn is going to be sharing some incredible tips and also, taking us through a journey. So together we are going to be discussing the defining moments that led Maudlyn to dedicate her life to women's and youth advocacy. We're also going to be really looking at how she was able to turn her vision into reality despite facing challenges and resistance. And so we're also going to be looking at the importance of mentorship, especially community support, as well as resilience in achieving leadership goals. So tune in, let's get motivated, and let us start by taking the first step into listening to how Maudlyn has actually birthed a vision. So welcome once again. It's a great pleasure to see you here. How was your day today, Maudlyn?
Thank you so much. It's been all right. I'm currently in Manchester, and it's super cold
Oh,
compared
wow.
to London, and it's rainy. Yeah, but my day hasn't been bad at all.
Good.
Sorry, I got a call coming through. Yeah, my
Okay.
day hasn't been bad at all. And you?
Yes. Yes, it's been, me, very busy, very active, very productive. And I'm just
Yeah,
so happy and excited and looking forward to this amazing interview. We always like
likewise.
to shine the spotlight on women who are leaders, women who are in business, and also who are making a change, who are change makers, and who
Yeah,
also are really creating change within their community and also in business and in leadership. So you definitely are someone that, fits into that. And so we are so grateful to see you here today. And
thank
yes, so
you.
let us go in and just have a conversation about, you as a queen.
Yeah.
Maudlyn, so your work as a youth and women's advocate is truly inspiring. I've seen what
Thank
you've
you.
done, I see what you're doing. And you know what? I give you your salute and I also give you your flowers as well. And so, can you tell
Yeah.
us about the moments or even the experience that sparked this vision in you? And how did you know this was your calling?
Yeah. Thank you so much,
You're
once
welcome.
again for this platform to share my story. I think for me, growing up, um, I grew up in an underprivileged community,
Mm,
and in my community, it was more like there were lots of school dropouts, and young girls were actually more socially trained to be
mm,
ready for marriage instead of being prepared to excel further or to progress academically. And
yes.
for me, I felt like I couldn't find like a proper role model in terms of um I'm not sure I really had a particular path I wanted to take, but I wanted more and I couldn't find that in my community. So
Yeah.
I was quite fortunate enough, even though it wasn't a privileged community, my parents ensured that I had the very best. So I went to
Yes.
one of the best schools. But compared to the people around me, there were less opportunities, less role models. So I said to myself, how can I be more? How can I be better? Because there was something in me that always wanted to be more. I didn't know what it was, but
Yeah.
I think, and the fact that I wanted to always make a difference, and probably if I didn't have that role model, to be that role model for young girls
Mm,
to look up to. So I think that that really sparked that vision in me, and I've always wanted to give back to help
yes.
other people to be better version of themselves. So I started volunteering even at a very young age in junior high school, senior high school. I'll offer service to people for free, really, just to make an impact. So I
Yeah.
think probably that was what built me up. Yeah, really having access to resources to just be a better person. I think it was just something. And I think, like I mentioned, I was fortunate that my parents provided those resources for me. But I said, looking at my friends, looking at my colleagues, how would they have access to those opportunities? And in quotes, I saw myself to be someone that can create that platform, even though I didn't know how. So I started
Yeah.
engaging in various activities. And I think that's how it really came about for me.
Mm. I love that.
Yes.
You know, I love that you were able to give yourself to volunteering because I think, to
Yeah.
be quite honest, a lot of things happen from really being the person that gives time. You understand? You take
Yes.
time to volunteer
Yeah.
yourself. And what happens is that gives you like a great ripple effect whereby what you've done will come back to you. Do you
Yes.
know what I mean? So by serving
Yes.
others, you will also be served and also you'll be
Seven. Yeah.
appreciated. You know, being of service to others is definitely important. Because I think
Yes.
even though you wasn't sure exactly what to do, but you were so much convinced that by offering your time to help somebody else, to help an organization, that truly you will be able to discover something. Because I truly believe that we actually find our purpose and also the passion in doing. Do you know what I mean? Some of
Yes.
us are still looking for the
Yes.
purpose, we're looking for the passion, but sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's about what are you doing with your time? You know,
Exactly.
what are you
Yeah.
doing to offer your
Mm-hmm.
service to somebody else, to an organization within your community? You know, how can you
Yeah.
be of service first? Because truly by doing that, you will start to discover who you are, you
Yourself,
know?
yes.
Yeah,
And it has ripple opportunities. It also opens
absolutely.
you up to. And
Correct.
for me, it really opened me up to things I didn't even know I had in me. I just wanted to do
Exactly.
something, but then that exposed me to a lot of opportunities that probably I have now and looking to have in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely, indeed. So thank you so much for being, you know, someone who has the act of service in them and they're able to share that. Excellent. What a great story that you have there. So as a young leader, you are a young, beautiful leader. And, you know, you've already achieved so much at a very
Yeah.
young age of yours. And, it's really, truly inspiring for those who are coming behind you to see how much you've actually achieved and the steps that you've taken to be able to get there. So, what was the first step that you took to turn your vision for youth and women's empowerment into reality?
Yeah. Okay. So,
Mm.
like I mentioned earlier, I was
Yeah.
volunteering a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the opportunity to have like a very professional work experience when I was with UNDP Ghana. And
Yes.
I think for me, it was a build up to what I was already doing.
Doing.
So while with UNDP Ghana, I was an executive assistant to the deputy
Mm.
resident rep, and sometimes I assist into field projects. So
Yes.
normally when we go to the field or we engage with various community or the people,
Mm.
I came to a realization that most people were actually thinking that in order for you to make an impact, you need to wait
Yeah.
for the UN or the governments or big organizations in order for you
Yeah.
to make a difference. So I
Mm.
said to myself, I have had various experiences through volunteering, and it doesn't take much to make a difference. So how can I empower these people to know that there's something within you? Because at first I also didn't know what I really had, but it took through volunteering and engaging with people to know that there's more to me. So I said, okay, then I was going to create a platform where I could empower other people, because some people just need that push. So right in UNDP Ghana country office, I spoke to my supervisor, who was then the deputy resident rep, and I spoke to
Yeah.
some of the staff, and then my colleagues, like-minded colleagues who were also passionate about the sustainable development goals. I
Mm.
spoke to them to say, this is the plan that I have, because normally you need that platform to start doing something. So I said, okay, I wanted to get an organization that will create that platform to make that impact. And when I spoke to them, thankfully, they believed in me. And right there at UNDP country office, we started raising funds from the staff in the office, and then we started our very first project. I remember it was a Friday, and they gave us that free will to go outside work to go and make impacts, and it was a school we started with. And I think that was my officially that was my starting point to create that platform for other people, because before then I've always been volunteering with other organizations. But when I started, it built that fire in me to know, oh, okay, I didn't even know that I could go that extra mile to do that. So for me, that was really the starting point with UNDP country office. And I registered my first organization in Ghana, which is called the Enije Global Foundation. It's a nonprofit that empowers women and young people through education and leadership development. And currently, we are focusing on the sustainable development goals, climate action, gender equality, and then education. And it's been so inspiring so far.
Fantastic. I had an opportunity to go through your organization in Ghana, and I'm truly impressed. And
Thank
everybody who's in
you.
your team that is really, standing out on your behalf, they all need to
Yes.
definitely be given their flowers. It's really amazing when
Yes.
you're able to build such platforms in countries that things that you are so passionate about, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
climate change and, education and, equality, women equality. And I think those things are definitely needed in those places. And, for someone like
Yes.
yourself to really strive to make a difference, that is who we call a change maker. And
Thank you.
it's just amazing, and it's just well done on all the things that you're doing. You are
Thank you.
definitely a shining star, a role model for young people to be aspired to, which is incredible. And in life we have a calling, we have a vision, and we
Yeah.
have dreams and aspirations. And so
Yes.
there are times where you know we have challenges when we are now sort of giving birth to this vision,
Yes.
stepping out of our comfort zone, trying to pursue this dream that we've always had, trying to not be a vision carrier anymore, but to be vision
Yeah.
birthers. And so there are challenges that comes along the way. And so my
Yeah.
question is, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've have actually faced in terms of birthing your vision, and how did you overcome them?
Yes.
Mm,
I think for me, the very first challenge I faced while in after high school,
yeah.
for some reasons, my I've always been an advocate for education, girls' education.
Yes.
So my main challenge was when I was awaiting my we have something called West Africa Senior High School Certificate Examination, and that's what you wait on, and then it takes you to the university. So
Mm,
for me, I being a high school graduate, I was awaiting my results, and for
yes.
some reasons my results were never published, and we
Ah,
went to the center back and forth, and for some reasons they
mm,
said my results had gone missing. So you can imagine the frustration waiting to go to the university, and then my results couldn't be found. So that was like a very first hurdle, because I've always believed in education, and then this is me being put in a box. I can't go to the
yes.
university just because the system has failed me. There's
Hmm.
someone couldn't trace my results or something like
Yes.
that. And um later it was found, which I don't even believe it was my official results. But then it was too late, because the schools had already selected the people to go for that year.
Mm,
And going to a private university was very expensive, and due to financial constraints, I had to stay at home for a year while
wow.
I wait to apply the next year to go to the university. And that was very tough for me. And
Hmm.
I went through a lot of emotional trauma. And you can imagine someone who has been advocating for education, some people around me who thought you were doing too much. Now look at you, you can't go to school. So it was so much on me. And some way, somehow, I was diagnosed of a rare condition called Bell's palsy. So Bell's
Okay.
palsy is a condition till present. So there's no cure for it. It's like when it happens, half of your face goes paralyzed, and your nerve like stops working. So it was like half of my face shifted. It was more like a stroke,
Hmm.
but it was just on my face, not my body. So
Yeah.
I couldn't even put a spoon in my mouth. And I think I was beginning to find myself, getting
Hmm.
very confident, and then all of a sudden Bell's palsy hits my face, and I couldn't even step out, because people would keep asking, why is your face looking like that? Why has your face shifted? And when I smile, it's like my face is like that. And people were making fun of me. So it was like my self-esteem that I was building just dropped down. So at a point, I was giving up to say probably that's my story, like that's how it's going to end. Um, but then I remember again, even when I managed to go to the university the next year, because I applied again, and after my graduation, I had Bell's palsy for close to 10 years. And normally the doctors would tell you it could take a week, it could take a year. There's no cure and there's no duration. Some have recovered in like a day, but mine took 10 years. So when I went to the university, I remember on my graduation day, I took photos, and then here was Bell's palsy staring at me in my graduation photos. My face had shifted, and I remember someone asked, like, why did you laugh? You shouldn't have laughed. And that really brought my spirit down, because that was a day that was supposed to make me happy. And this is Bell's palsy coming back to me. And I think that it traced back to the fact that probably if there were enough resources, I would have gone to a private university if the system hadn't failed me. Because even though there's no cure for Bell's palsy, one doctor actually mentioned that stress could be the cause. So I was thinking probably what I was going through, not being able to go to school and all that, I was overthinking mentally, it
Mm,
was draining me, and that could have been a cause. That's what I was thinking. So
yes.
it was one of the main challenges that I faced. I felt disappointed in myself. I and for me being a Christian, I kept like praying for God to give me a miracle, but it was still there staring at me. And
Mm.
I just felt like a failure at that point. There was nothing I could do about it because there's no cure. It's not like you can take a medication to sort
Yeah.
it out. So that really brought me down for about 4 years. I couldn't
Yeah.
put myself together. I was always hiding. I couldn't go in the midst of people because people would be questioning, oh, why are you smiling like that? I had like names being called at me, like gangster smile. And when you are trying to break boundaries, people
Yes.
think you are doing too much. So it was at that point people felt like, okay, you think you were going up there, now look at you, you're all the way down. So it was at that point, it was like a breaking point for me. I was so down, I didn't know how to go about it. But then there was just one time I said to myself that nobody was going to do it for you. You have to step up for yourself. And I think I started reading, watching stories, YouTube stories about people getting out of their comfort zone, people that have even gone through worse stuff that has been able to make it out of it. So I said to myself, I can't allow these things bring me down. And probably people have even faced higher struggles than I have. Not to demean mine, but then if those people have been able to make it, then I think that I can make it. So I started ignoring what my face looks like because
Yeah.
at a point I couldn't, even when you invite me on stage and other stuff, I would decline because I didn't want people to ask me questions. But I decided to press that green button literally to say that no matter what, it's just me. I have to find a way to get out of it. If not, I'll still be down there. So I think that's what happened. I just had to tell myself I need to do this. Nobody's going to come and help me. And being from that community where everybody is used to staying low and
Mm.
you are trying to rise up, I realize if I don't go up, then I'll still be there just like anybody else. So that's how
Absolutely.
I decided to just start something and to get out of my comfort zone, to say people have even
Mm.
had worse accidents and other things that have deformed their body, but they are still out there making so much impact. So why would I allow just a shift on my face, even though it took a lot? But I just had to
Yes.
snap out of it. It wasn't easy, but I just had to find a way to do that.
To do
And
that.
yeah.
And look at you now. Just
Yeah.
look at you now. I mean, I am so impressed because what you've done is to basically just fight back. You
Yes.
wasn't going to stay down. You had to tell
Yeah.
yourself that, yes, I'm going through this. And yes, it's a
Yes.
lot for me to carry, but I have a vision inside of me. I
Yes.
definitely need to give birth to this vision. And I'm going to have to do it by believing in myself, regardless of my obstacles, regardless of
Yeah.
whoever thinks of me in a certain way. I have to overcome that by myself. Like you said,
Yeah.
everything begins with you. You have to be the
Exactly.
change that you want to see. Once you become the
Yeah.
change, then that becomes part of your life story where you can share that on stage. And you've been on stages where you've been able to
Yeah.
share your story. And to be quite honest with you, when we talk about giving birth to something, like I said, challenges come. This is one of them that
Yeah.
you're experiencing. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to go through any challenge. Nobody is in any way praying for somebody else to go through challenges. But in life, we have so much things that happens, and
Yeah.
sometimes it allows us to kind of just derail us from where we're going. But if we only
Exactly.
just stay grounded and just believe that we're only going through this for a phase, and perhaps we're also going through it to be
Yeah.
able to help somebody else who may even go through it or even encounter similar things that we're going through, and that we can actually give them the tools
Mm-hmm.
and the techniques for them to be able to manage and
Exactly.
step out of it. And I know that you've been on
Yes.
stages to speak, to share your story. And actually, this is actually an eye opener because I'm sure many of the audience listening, or to those who are tuning in tonight, they may not even know exactly what Bell
Yeah.
palsy is. It might be the first time that they're
Yes.
hearing about it. But because you've taken a bold step to say, yes, I'm going to share my story on Birth Your Vision podcast, you've actually touched on a condition that many of us are not even aware of. And this is the power
Yeah.
of going through your story. And I always tell people that there's always a blessing in adversity. Yeah.
Yes.
There's always a
Yes.
blessing. And sometimes we may not see it. Really, there's a blessing in
Yeah.
adversity if you just allow time to heal. and you just
Yeah.
allow time to just do what it needs to do, you will see that I have gone through this because of this,
Yeah.
you know, and immediately you may not understand it or why you're going through it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a blessing in adversity. So the blessing I see that has come out for you is that despite you have gone through Bell
Yeah.
palsy, what you've done is to turn it around and to say
Mm-hmm.
to yourself, you know what, I have to be the change. I have to
Yes.
step out of my comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of of what I look like. I have to be
Exactly.
the change. I am now an example of the cause that I'm actually believing in, because you are an advocate for education. And
Yes.
yet you've experienced the challenge of how
Setbacks.
difficult it
Yeah.
was,
Mm-hmm.
you know, by not getting your results while others were getting theirs. You wasn't able to get yours
Yeah.
printed. And then you also faced Bell palsy.
Yeah.
So you are, an example of someone who has gone through what it means to have a vision and the challenges
Yeah.
that come with it. But what you've done is to fight your way
Yeah.
through. And so congratulations on
Yes.
coming to the other end, you know. And
Thank
I'm
you.
just so happy that you're able to share that. And
Thank you.
talking about stories and sharing your platform, sharing your stories on stages. You've spoken on
Yeah.
international stages. You've impacted so many. I got the opportunity to watch you on your TED speaking platform.
Oh,
It was
thank
truly
you.
inspiring, and it was just so great just to be able to see you and just to share your knowledge. It was really intriguing to be able to just hear your story. So how has sharing your message on a global level shaped your
Yeah.
vision and the way you lead now?
Yes. I
Mm,
think having the opportunity to
mm,
share my story or even the work that I do on such
mm,
global platform, one, I think that it has really broadened my perspective on challenges and
mm,
solutions in addressing various problems. Sometimes you need that opportunity, or you need that platform to see that how people are addressing challenges differently, and then you learn all the time. At the same time, I think that it has validated my work. Having access to those platforms, it validates who you are. Because sometimes before people would even give you another platform, they want to see the kind of platforms you've been invited to, and I don't take it for granted. But then also, it has amplified my message to know that to share that impact is really important, and we all need to take some steps. We
yes.
There's no savior coming to help us. So I believe that those platforms has really given me the opportunity to amplify the work that I do in inspiring young people and women especially,
Mm,
because like I mentioned, some people feel it's the government, it's the United Nations, it's big organizations, or you even need to work with a big organization before you can make that impact. But in me having the opportunity and even listening to other people, it has really giving me that platform to share that message and to inspire other people out there as well. Yeah.
absolutely. That is incredible. I mean, when young people see that, actually, Madeline is able to actually step on stage and just be
Yeah.
herself
Mm-hmm.
and just share from the heart. That would
Yeah.
just inspire them to be able to put themselves forward. Like you
Yeah.
said, we don't have to think too big by going to big organization. We can just start with the community, the
Yes.
local people, and just see how that is, and
Yes.
then gradually, you can start to look at other things, and in fact
Yeah.
things will start to come because you are
Mm-hmm.
now walking in the lane that you have been ordained
Yes.
to be, where you have been called to. So I say, stay in your lane. That's what I tell people: stay in your lane, and a lot of things will happen there. So yeah, so I'm just going to throw in a very fun question
Okay.
just to add a bit of jazz to our podcast. So I wanted to know, what would you tell your 18-year-old self, Madeline, looking back now? If
Yeah.
you was 18, what would you tell your 18-year-old self, looking at everything that you've achieved and who you've become and who you're still going to become later on in life? Looking back
Yes.
at your 18-year-old self, what would you have told her?
I'd have just said be patient.
Yes.
I think for me, I've always been a go-getter, like very
Yeah.
ambitious,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes things don't turn out the way you want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
and you keep asking a lot of questions. But I'll just say, then if I knew the kind of openings for me now, I'll just say be patient. Great things take time. So
Mm.
take it easy on yourself. At the same time, be very authentic. It's good to read about people, it's good to follow people to know what they are doing, but you
Yeah.
can't be like them. It's
No.
you and what God has created you to be. So be
Correct.
very authentic with your journey, your story, even what
Yeah.
you go through. Be
So
very
true.
intentional, but in all things, like just be very patient with yourself. And
Mm.
as time goes on, things will unfold in ways that you never even imagined. I
Imagine.
remember growing up around 18, 19, when at about that time, that was when my results went missing, and I thought I would never bounce back. But now, not only did I do my first degree, I have second degree, and I'm even looking to do PhD. And the kind of
Mm.
opportunities that it has opened for me, I look back and I like, okay, then maybe if I hadn't even overthought, maybe I wouldn't have had Bell's palsy or something. But
Mm.
I should have just been very patient with myself and watch
Mhm.
how God was going to take me, and understand that life is a journey and great things just takes time. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think patience is a virtue. Patience is a
Yes.
virtue, and I think we all want something to
Hmm.
happen now, immediately, but
Yes.
sometimes waiting is definitely important. So I absolutely
Hmm.
agree with you. And so advocating for women and youth can often come
Yeah.
with resilience and sometimes some societal barriers.
Yeah.
You probably understand this because this is, the role in which you play in so many areas in terms of
Yeah.
women and young people. So how do you stay resilient in the face of challenges, especially when advocating for those voices,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're not always heard. Mm.
Yes. I think I just remember where I started, really,
Yeah.
because I've come to understand that life always has challenges. And if you want to break barriers, it
Mm-hmm.
will come with challenges. You won't find it easy. So
Correct.
for me, even though I wouldn't say it's easy to always accept that, oh, this is what you're going to go through or it's part of life, it is tough, but I've come to understand that it is part of the journey. So I I just remember why I started from that community where I didn't have enough resources, where girls were seen as socially being trained to get married, and there were lots of teenage pregnancies, school dropouts, and if I've been able to make it up to this point, I see it as a challenge to also help other people, because I have seen firsthand how much resources or having access to opportunities have made a lot of difference in my life. So um I didn't stay in that community for a very long time, let's say for about 15 years, and I had to move to an affluent community, and I saw the kind of opportunities that comes with, and how it has made a lot of difference in my life. And I think that probably the other girls also, if they had the opportunity, they could have been where I am or even higher. So that is
Mm-hmm.
why normally when I'm faced with challenges, I just look back and say, no, someone is counting on me. And even
Mm-hmm.
people I grew up with, they normally reach out to me and tell me how much I inspire them. And I feel like I can't let them down. I can't let them down and let them know that like life comes with challenges, but you
Yes.
will soar higher, you will go through it. So I just literally remember why I started. And I mean, if you want to break barriers, like I said, it comes with challenges, and that's why we do the work that we do, so that we can get other people out of it, really. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm not
Thank
sure
you
if
so
I
much for
answered
that.
your
You did definitely, because it's showing that you also have the act of mentorship in you. You want to see
Yes,
that people who are following you, who are inspired by you, you're not letting them down. So in
yeah,
essence, you're also a mentor for these young people as well, because you have
yes,
to be the change maker. You have to be the catalyst for change, for them to be able to say
yeah,
that, oh, Madeline has done it, I definitely want to be inspired, or I want to take her as my role model. Which leads me to the next question
Yes.
about mentorship. So what role does mentorship and community support play in your journey, and how important is it for young leaders to have access to guidance and resources?
I think that is very, very essential as a young
Mm,
person. And for me, I would always say that I'm thankful for my parents and my extended family, really, because even when I started my organization, and even till date, sometimes funding is very, very difficult to come across. But I have parents who are so proud of the work that I'm doing, and they don't discourage me to say these things that you are doing, where is it going to take you to? But then they support me, and I have people that probably I don't even know, they are not family related, but they've held my hand, they've mentioned me in various rooms, and I think those have really created the opportunity because, mind you, there are other young people that are even doing more than I am, but they don't have the kind of platforms that I have. And I think it's because of the kind of mentors that I have and the kind of guidance that I have received, or the community I have around me. So I believe that mentorship is very, very important for young people. And in the work that we do, especially in Ghana, we make sure that every session that we run, we include mentorship, we connect these young people, because I use myself as a yardstick to know how much these have created opportunities for me. So I make sure that we include that in our projects that we run, and have access to people, resourceful people that are either ahead of you or are on the way to where you want to get to. And sometimes it's just a story you need to hear. It's just someone holding your hand, someone mentioning your name in a room, or someone even mentioning an opportunity for you to go for this. And I have had that so many times where people, I'll just be there and they'll send me, you need to apply for this, you need to register for this. And I think it has really shaped the kind of person that I am. If I didn't have that, I'm sure it would have been tougher, even though I faced challenges, but it would have been tougher for me to even get to where I am now. So it's very, very important for young people to have mentorship. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Mentorship is powerful. It's amazing. Um,
Yeah.
it's about just making sure that you have someone to guide you, hold your hand, get you to the next level, to show
Yeah.
you around, which is very important for young people and for women as well. And
Yes.
also, you talked about leadership as well. You're a woman in leadership yourself, and in your experience, what do you think the most critical steps to a young woman or even a youth needs to take to begin realizing their own vision for leadership or advocacy?
Yeah. For me, I think, as I mentioned earlier, I just decided to press the green button of my life.
Go.
And not everybody has that zeal to know that I need to press. But I think that having access to opportunities to volunteer really shaped me in ways that I didn't even know that I had, or things that I didn't even know I had within me. And
Yes.
I also think that before anything, sometimes we believe that we need like a bigger platform, or we need to have some kind of, even now in the social media kind of digital world, you think that you need to have a lot of following. But I think you just need to start small, no matter what it is. Just
Yeah.
start wherever you are, use what you can.
So
If
true.
it is impacts you want to make, start volunteering, find a problem in your community, or be part of the solution. Speak to the people that are aligned with the vision that you want to take. And sometimes you may not know what you even have, but as time goes on, as you engage in various projects, speaking to people, going to
Yes.
conferences and workshops and all those things, it opens you up to know the kind of leadership that you have in you. I believe that everybody is a leader. I don't think that there are specific people that were born leaders, but sometimes it takes that push to bring out the kind of potential that it's in you. So
Mm,
starts with whatever that you have. You don't need so much. Even with now social media, You may
Yes.
have 10 followers, but the more you keep going, people will start following you to know, because if you are not doing anything great, nobody wants to know you. Even with your story, if you don't get a certain height, nobody cares about your story. So sometimes we are tempted to compare ourselves with other people to see that, oh, they are getting ahead of us. But you just need to, those people, either they are not telling you their struggles, and some people are actually born with privileges. But for me, I wasn't born with so much privilege. So I believe that I needed to create that platform of where I want to get to for myself. So I started with the little that I have. Like when I said I had the opportunity to be a UNDP, I wasn't the only person at UNDP, but then I saw that potential that I could capitalize on that. And NEJ Global started with just funding from the office contribution. It wasn't a lot of money. Even till date, we don't even have so much resources, but the impacts that we are making, I'm sure people look at us and think that probably have some huge amounts of funding, but it's just trying to use what we have really, and just start small. Just take baby steps. And for me, one thing that I is guiding me at the moment is what I call my legit principle. Is an acronym. The L stands to lead, E is to empower, G is to grow, I is to inspire, and then T is to transform. So leadership, how do I start leading? Start with
Mm.
your community. You don't even need to look
Yes.
far. Look around you in your house. What is that change that needs to go on? For me, I'm the first child and I've got three brothers. So I always I started with my brothers, trying to take that responsibility. And for some reasons, it has really built me up. And while you lead, while you take initiatives, you empower other people around you. The small
Yes.
step that you've taken to create a
Mm.
change, it's empowering somebody. For me, if it was like my brothers, the little acts of service I was doing for them was making them a better person. And as you do that, you get to learn, and that's how you grow. You get to know your weaknesses, your challenges, your strength. And while you
Mm.
are at it, you keep inspiring other people. People get to know who you are, where you are getting to, and then along the way you are transforming other people too. So I think for me, that's why I brought up my legit principle, because I feel like that has the whole lead, empower, grow, inspire, transform has shaped the kind of person that I am. But then I didn't even know those were the things going on. But I had to sit down and then put them together. I was like, okay, this is what I was doing. And how do I use that to impact others? So I started sharing my legit principle, and currently I even have a legit leadership program going on with NEJ Global Foundation. And so far it's been inspiring, and it's transforming the lives of young people out there. So just start with these. Sometimes there's this imposter syndrome where you feel you're not enough. Probably people are going to find out that you're not so much of a big deal like that. We all go through that. And I think is it Marion Williamson? She said something of our deepest fear isn't that we are not adequate, but our deepest fear is that probably we are powerful beyond measure. So we normally ask ourselves, who are you to be
Mm.
exceptional? Who are you to be talented? Who are you to be beautiful? But actually, who are you not to be? Because
Exactly. Thank
me
you.
being a Christian, my Bible
Mm.
tells me that I'm light. I'm a city set
Mhm.
on the hill. So no matter
Come on.
what anybody thinks of me, I need to
Yeah.
shine wherever I go to. And you may not get that on a silver platter. You need to create that for yourself. So just start.
Hey,
Just start.
Madeline, you have dropped the mic. Hey, mic drop. Finger, finger snaps. Wow, didn't I tell you that she was going to be dropping gems for us? All the Gen Zs, get your notepad and your pencils. It's time to take notes. The leader has spoken. If you didn't catch that, please rewind it. Go to the replay.
Yes.
She has dropped the gem. She said, be yourself. She said, look for
Yes.
opportunities in your community. What problems
Yes.
exist? Go ahead and see what you like, what you want to solve,
Yeah.
what you're passionate about, what keeps you awake at night. You
Yes.
understand? Start from there.
Yes.
Start to make a change. Focus, be yourself, be authentic, stay in your lane. Do you
Yeah.
understand? You can be inspired by other people, but truly
Mm-hmm.
inspire yourself. Yes, there'll be challenges,
Yes.
there'll be obstacles. It doesn't matter. That's
Mm-hmm.
life. Life is not completely perfect. We all go
Yeah.
through challenges.
Yeah.
But how
Yeah.
you step out and how you come out of it, that's what really matters.
What
And how
makes
you
you?
share your
Yes.
journey to help others, that's what
Yeah.
really matters. You mustn't stay down for too long. It's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to
Yes.
express your emotions. It's okay for you to feel low. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it. But do not
Yeah.
stay down too long, because you're
Yeah.
destined for greatness. And that's what she's saying to you.
Amazing.
We are destined for greatness. We all carry something inside of us. Do not believe anybody that
Yes.
tells you that you will never amount to nothing. That is a lie, right? Because
Yeah.
they cannot see your future. They don't even own the key
Yes.
to what you are going to be unlocking for people who you have been
Yes.
called to serve. So do not listen to
Yeah.
those people who are going to put you down, who are going to
Yeah.
diminish your dreams, who do not want to
Mm-hmm.
help you or support you. Do not listen to them,
Yes.
because when you listen to them, what happens is you will never
Yeah.
get to see the legacy that you need to build, right? So please
Exactly.
take notes from me and from
Exactly.
Madeline. We are dropping it for you tonight. You know, it's important that you understand what it takes to get into the leadership role. It's not an easy role, but
Yeah.
just stay in your lane and keep focusing on exactly what you're passionate about, and you will
Yeah.
definitely succeed and excel. Fantastic.
Yes.
Excellent.
And one thing that I wanted to also add, as a
Yeah.
young girl, normally one thing that we face is when it comes to the
Hmm.
issue of marriage, because I have had people telling me I'm doing too much and I'm going to be too ambitious for men. Nobody is going to come to me to marry me when I'm too ambitious. And I think that has really gotten to a lot of young women to hold back. But one thing I want to say is just be you, and whoever is meant for you. There are so many men out there that are proud of ambitious women, and don't let that get to
Yes.
you, because for me that used to get to me a lot. So I always say that while in Ghana, because of the cultural system and the patriarchy, I wasn't confident to stand for myself as a woman. I was literally doing for everybody, young people, young women, boys and girls, but sometimes exposure also helps you. So for me, having the opportunity to travel around, I got to know that no, you need to stand for yourself. If you don't, nobody will. So don't let anybody hold you back with an excuse that no man is going to marry you, or men don't like too many ambitious women. It's not true. And we need more women like yourself to stand up for us. And the more we
Yes.
speak about it, the more we create opportunities for other women to shine and to be themselves as well. So I just thought I should add that.
Yes, absolutely. I think people will always project negativity onto
Yes.
those who are doing, you understand, those who are taking
Yeah.
actions, because they perhaps feel a little bit intimidated. And some of them
Yes.
might be coming from a good place because perhaps they've
Mm-hmm.
experienced something. But the thing
Yeah.
is, once you stay true to yourself and you know that you value who you are, the right person will come and appreciate
Yes.
you. In fact, they will add to what you're bringing
Value.
already to the
Yes.
table, because they are
Exactly.
also a man of worth, a man of
Mm-hmm.
value, a man that
Yeah.
sees, you understand, that
Yeah.
understands what you have inside of you. And actually, they will actually help you to water it so that it can actually even blossom even more,
Exactly.
rather than
Yes.
rather than removing the water to empty and then it becomes dry land. No,
Yes.
who is for
Yeah.
you will find you. In fact, in the process
Exactly.
of you being yourself, you know, whoever wants to call it over ambitious, which I don't call it that, I just call it,
Yeah.
you are stepping into who you've been called to be. And there is
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that, because what you're doing is that you are inspiring the next generation,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yes.
so whoever is for you will find you,
Yeah.
and they would work with you, and you will form a great partnership, and they would want to be around you because you are definitely compatible with them. It's all about
Yes.
compatibility. You
Yes.
know, it's about knowing that you might not be compatible with somebody else, but there is someone out there for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage
Exactly.
those who are thinking that They've been told that they're over ambitious, not to think too much of it, but just to carry on being yourself, because the person that likes for who you are will
Mm,
definitely come for
oh,
you.
definitely.
They'll
Yes.
definitely come for you. And that's the fact, to be quite honest with you. Because some men actually like that, for you
Yes.
to be that.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
you know, be open to receive such men who are not going to feel intimidated by the level of success, by the level
Yeah.
of achievements, that you've
Yeah.
actually achieved in your life, but to actually
Yeah.
add to it and appreciate you and understand that I need to be there for my wife, for my girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
whoever you are
Yes.
to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't even in any way want you to worry too much about that, because what happens is you start to feel like you need to tone down and dim your lights. And this is
Mm-hmm.
what a lot of people are doing. They're dimming their lights
Yes.
because people have told them that you're
Serves you
too
no
ambitious.
good. Mm-hmm.
You're too ambitious. Gosh, you're
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It,
Mm-hmm.
it's 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 none of their business, to be quite honest with
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a journey in life, right? And this is my
Yeah.
journey. This is your journey.
Yeah.
Face your lane,
Yeah, and
you
I
know?
think you said something about
Mm,
insecurities. Some people
yeah,
wish they actually had that kind of boldness or confidence that you have, but
confidence.
because they
Yeah,
don't have it, they push that insecurity on you to make you feel
exactly.
less of yourself. But as you go on, either they accept you or they even join you, or even the
Exactly.
ones that are supposed to be part of you would
Yes.
find you and
Hmm.
encourage you or support you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And obviously, your circle has to be uniquely um, be for you. You have to
Yes.
understand the kind of circle that you need to be in. For a
Yeah.
woman of worth, you cannot be in
Mm-hmm.
a circle where people are just pouring into you negative
Mm-hmm.
energy. It's not going
Yes,
to work. You have to be in a
exactly.
circle whereby people appreciate, understand your vision, understand where you're going, and also help you along the way by holding your hand,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
by them allowing you to actually by them being an accountability partner for you along the way,
Yeah.
and to see that you
Yes.
get there, and to give you your flowers and also celebrate you. So sometimes the
Yes.
circle we're in is very important.
Important.
If you're
Yeah.
in a circle of drainers, you'll be drained, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're in a
I
circle
agree.
of achievers, you will be an achiever.
You keep flying. Yeah.
You keep flying, right? If you're in a
Mm-hmm.
circle of
Mm-hmm.
millionaires and you are not there yet, trust me, you'll probably be the next one to be, because you cannot
Inspires
be
you
in a
to do
circle.
more.
Yeah, you cannot be in a
Yes.
circle of millionaires and not ask questions
Yes.
as a woman of worth, or even a man of worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
How
Mm-hmm.
did you do it? What can I do? And they'll be able to help you because you are in the right circle. So
Yeah.
sometimes the circle we're in can actually make us or break
Mm-hmm.
us.
Yes.
So, ladies,
I
let's
like that.
focus on being who we have been called to be, and not in any way allow imposter syndrome, negative energy, negative
Yeah.
circles of people to influence or change our
Yeah.
mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because we are made to be great, you know? So, yeah, hope that helps. Hope
Amazing.
you're taking notes. Excellent.
I am
So,
actually
we
taking some notes too. I'm pretty.
absolutely, definitely. I think it's important for us to have this open, free discussions,
Yeah.
so that we can actually just help others, and just fill in the gaps for those who are worried about these kind of situations. Absolutely. So, what advice would you give to someone who is passionate about making a difference but doesn't know where to start? How can they find the courage to birth their vision?
I'd say that
Mm,
um, whatever you visualize, yeah,
yeah,
you have to actualize it. You need to
excellent.
think positive because aside God, you are the architect of your own future. So
Correct.
look around you. What can you do? Don't look too far. Just take baby steps. And don't forget to celebrate those baby steps that you take because most of the time we are in a hurry to compare with especially now the digital age, you see how other people are flying, and you keep asking yourself, you don't acknowledge how far you have come, but celebrate those baby steps, but then
Mm,
also be open to learning, and make sure that the people you are learning also, you don't lose yourself in the process, because as time goes on we are quick to compare ourselves to people, but then you don't know what goes on in their closet. So make sure
mm,
that you follow authentic people who also are very easy to share their highs and lows, because
yeah.
most of the time we focus on people that are always going up. Nobody posts their failures on social media anymore. But then if people start opening up to tell you what they go through, so just take it easy on yourself and realize that it's a journey you are taking, it's new to you. So it's a learning process, it's a learning curve. And
Mm,
don't be in a hurry to be who you've never been. Just take it easy on yourself. Create that change
absolutely.
one step at a time, and you will
Mm,
definitely get there. You achieve that goal or wherever you need to get to, and have positive role models around you. Even if you
yes,
haven't got
absolutely.
any, go online, go to
Mm,
events, go to positive events, positive
yeah,
conferences, workshops, and be open to learning. Yes, that's what I could say.
absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Um, Fantastic. I don't even know what to say in regards to that. So that's really good. Absolutely. And so, Madeline, before we wrap up, how can our
Yeah.
audience connect with you online?
Yes. So I'm modeling Akosua Awuku on all social media platforms. I like to keep my note to add other names to my social media. So, and my website in akosiawuku.com. So modeling is Maudlyn. Akosia is Akosua, and Awuku is Awuku. So you can find that on all social media platforms, and also visit my website where you can see my organizations and what I'm doing and how you can support me or you can join me to make greater impacts as well.
Fantastic. That's excellent. You know what? It's been an amazing opportunity to have you here on the Birth
Thank
Your
you.
Vision podcast show. I mean, we can allow this to go on for hours. There's always so much to
I
talk about.
know.
There's always so much to talk about. And I just want you to tell us about your experience about being a guest on the show. How has it been for you?
I think it's a wonderful opportunity for me to share
Yeah.
my journey. I feel privileged, and
Mm.
I think it's a very welcoming space to be
Yes.
very authentic with
Hmm.
yourself. You go to some platforms and you're overthinking of what to say and all that, but I think this is a
Exactly.
very I feel like I'm just close to you now. We're just talking and there's no rush. I can be
Yeah.
myself. I don't need to say something that isn't. And thank you so much for creating this platform. I think
Thank you.
storytelling is very, very important in
So
advancing
true.
women and young people generally.
Mm.
And thank you for taking that initiative to give us the platform to share
Yeah.
our journeys and our stories. And God bless you. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much.
That really means a lot to me. And do you have any last words to say to kind of encourage or to just empower our audience?
Yes, just be yourself and be
Be
very
yourself.
patient with yourself,
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
great things take time and you will eventually get there. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And on that note, I would just like to leave maybe three tips for each and every one of you who is watching us today. Number one is to believe in your vision, no matter how big or even how small it is. Because remember that
Yeah.
every vision starts with belief. Okay?
Yes.
You've got to trust your unique path. And also remember that the impact that you make begins with the confidence to pursue what feels meaningful to you. So that's
Yeah.
first. Then, number two is to basically take small, consistent steps, just like our guest said today. Big dreams doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. So I want you to focus on consistent progress and just celebrate each of those small steps along the way. Celebrate your wins and
Yeah.
also make sure that you continue to make significant impact and stay in your lane, because only in your lane you can slay and there's no traffic on there. Trust me on that one. And lastly, make sure
Okay.
that you build a supportive network around you. We've already talked about
Yes.
taking yourself away from circles of drainers and
Yeah.
come to the circles of those who are going to pour in you. Because remember, empowerment is actually amplified in communities. Okay. And
Yes.
so you want to seek mentors, sponsorships, allies, good friends, those who are going to pour inside of you, and they're going to hold you accountable,
Yeah.
and they're going to support your vision. So it's important that you lean on them for guidance, for feedback, and also for encouragement. So just remember that birthing your vision is a journey, it's a process. It takes courage, it takes consistency, and it takes a community. And we can learn that today from our wonderful guest, Maudlyn. She said something about
Okay.
patience. Patience is a virtue. So make sure that you keep all these tips that we've shared with you today, keep them close to your hearts, and also towards creating an impact that means a lot to you, which is important. And so, on that note, thank you so much to our wonderful guests. It's an amazing pleasure to have you
Thank
once again.
you.
Thank you for being here and
Thank
for
you.
sharing your story with us. We have learned so much tonight, and we're going to be taking those things away and taking action. So, thank you to all of you who have tuned in today into this powerful episode of the Birth Your Vision podcast, where we've actually had the pleasure of speaking to an incredible woman, Maudlyn, who is actually shared a journey of leadership, resilience, and dedication to empowering women and young people. And so, if today's conversation resonated with you, be sure to connect with Maudlyn and also follow her work to stay updated on her advocacy initiatives and also on her upcoming projects. But remember, whether you are beginning your journey today or even in the middle of making your dreams come to life, make sure that the path to birthing your vision is one thing that is worth giving birth to. And also remember that always subscribe to our podcast and make sure that you catch more insightful conversation with inspirational change makers like Maudlyn. And so until next time, keep nurturing your vision, stay committed to your goals, and also remember that your voice has the power to change
Yes.
the world. And on that note, thank you all for watching us tonight. I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much, Maudlyn. Have a great evening.
Thank
Stay
you.
blessed, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Take
Bye.
care.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
much.
You're welcome. And that's a wrap for today's Birth Your Vision podcast episode. Thank you for joining us on this inspirational ride. If you've enjoyed today's episode and want more, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us with our mission to continue to empower aspiring entrepreneurs around the globe. So please remember that your vision is the spark that can light up the world. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep creating, and keep birthing your vision. This has been the Birth Your Vision podcast. Inspire, create, and birth. Thank you.